Team, welcome to this ISTQB foundation level certification training. So this course will deal the required. There I can't hear. Is it the case with everyone? Can you hear me good? Is the audio clear? Kiran Mai says that can't hear. Can you hear me good? Yeah, it's audible, right? So please, whoever has the issue, just log out and log in, and then it should solve the problem. It's loud and clear. Perfect, all right. Yeah, so welcome to this ISTQB foundation level training. What we're going to do today is just a orientation session in which I will give you the maximum required information for you to understand what is an ISTQB is all about, what is this foundational level certification, and the advantages of going through the certification and everything. So even though I'm saying you're muted, so basically we said it's a mandatory skill for every software testing professional. So there are a lot of companies who will mandate for the test engineers, even after joining their companies, they would ensure their software professional, test professionals will go through this certification, either ISTQB or there is. How about it, team? Now I think should be good. Okay. So even though, yeah, thanks for the confirmation. So even though I say you are muted, you can put your questions on the chat or you can raise your hand. I'll make it, unmute for you guys so that you can raise your questions if you have anything. So let's get started. So the agenda goes like this. So we'll talk about introduction to the ISTQB. Basically, we'll talk about what is an ISTQB and what are the different levels in the ISTQB, why someone should go for a certification, ISTQB certification, what are the benefits of certification either to the individual professional or to the corporations, the organizations. If all of their professionals go through the certification, what are the benefits that the organization get it? We'll try to understand in detail about the examination structure, how will it be and what kind of questions and what is the syllabus, etc. We'll talk about foundational level syllabus, and they have been categorized into different K levels, or they call it as a cognitive levels. So we'll talk about what are those K levels and the chapter wide questions. So there are about 6 or 7 chapters that we need to go throughout this course. So Rocky, please just log out and log in, then it should be good for you. You should be able to hear. Is it the case with everyone? Can't hear me? Team, you can hear me good, right? No issues. Yeah. Please log out and log in. Yeah. So there are different K levels or cognitive levels that we will be understanding, and then we'll go for chapter-wide questions. And then we'll look at what are the different prospects of learning this, not ALM. Sorry, it's a mistake here. I think I've just tried to, reusing is one of the main, reusability or leveraging is one of the main features that we have to do as a software professional. So I think I have leveraged the previous PPT, and that's where it is coming up. So prospects of not learning, basically again prospects of going through the certification of ISTQB is what we will understand today, and then we'll take up definitely good amount of questions and we'll try to answer those questions. So before I go and introduce to the ISTQB and the levels, I just want to quickly open one poll question, just one question, which will give me a fair idea that what is your level of understanding of the ISTQB. So I'm just launching the poll. Team, please answer the question. It's open for you guys. The question, is it open? Right, poll in progress. So please answer the question based on your level. So the question is all about how many of you have an idea about the ISTQB. All right, so most of you guys have answered it. That's what it shows. So let me close the poll. The results are like 92% voted. Uh, so remaining 8%, I'm not sure whether you have any issues with the looking at the poll, or you're just okay to look at the answers later. Anyways, so we got expected results, like pretty much. The first answer that I put was like 0% opted for very good idea and appeared for the exam, which is definitely what I have expected. But sometimes it could be a scenario, one or two folks that they have fair idea, but they have already tried once and probably they might have not cleared and they wanted to reappear the exam, so they wanted to take the course. I have expected hardly like one or two folks in that category, but nobody's into that category. That is fine. 27% of you says good idea. Basically, it's so 27% you says good idea, but never appeared for the exam. That's also a very good thing that you folks have already heard about this one, but you have never appeared. So here in this course, we'll be dealing with all the process and things that are required, how you can go register for the exam, appear for the exam, and all that. 45%, which is a majority of you, said some idea but not much details on the exam and the the fee, the course details. 27% of you said no idea, just heard about ISTQB recently, probably through our webinar introduction emails or something like that. You might have heard about it. So that puts me 45 plus 27, around 72% of you say that you know or have some idea about the ISTQB, and 27% of you says absolutely no idea, just heard about ISTQB. So thanks team for taking up or actively participating in this poll question. That gives me a direction, basically what depth or what breadth I can go into the orientation for this particular ISTQB. So you can keep posting the questions if you have, then I'll be able to take it up. So, but otherwise, as I said, the agenda is pretty much packed like this. We'll introduce to the ISTQB and different levels and why the certification, benefits of it, exam structure, foundation level syllabus, what are the different K levels or cognitive levels, and chapter wide questions. Of course, prospects of going through this ISTQB certification. Okay. So, people who are not familiar with ISTQB, it stands for International Software Testing Qualification Board. That is what is all about. The ISTQB abbreviation itself says. Can't hear you guys again. Hope rest of the folks can hear me. Please, who have the problem, just log out and log in to the meeting. You should be good. So ISTQB stands for International Software Testing Qualifications Board. This is the website, www.istqb.org. I can show you that website so that you can go to them later when you have time. So this is the website, istqb.org. This is where we need to look at for all kinds of information that we need for the certification of different levels. Sorry. So, and it's a non-profit association. It's founded in 2002 by a couple of volunteers, and then it's headquartered in Belgium. It has its own constitution, rules, and regulations that needs to be followed by the professionals as well as the organizations who want to have this certification. It composed of volunteer international testing experts. There are experts from international wide working to this organization day in day out for improving the testing certifications, and they are the whole and soul responsible for this ISTQB certified tester scheme, which is famous worldwide, or which is very popular worldwide. So ISTQB is the world's leading organization for software testing certification. So there are other certifications like CST is one another certification, and for automation tools, whichever the tool that you learn or you work. For example, HP has its own certifications for UFT, load runner, ALM, and Microsoft have their own certifications for their Visual Studio automation, things like that. So the ISTQB is basically the world's leading organization for the software overall testing certification. Nothing to do with any specific automation or anything. Overall software testing certification. Their motto is like advancing the software testing profession. So this is what their theme or motto of the organization. Any questions on the slide? What is an ISTQB is all about? Now coming to the certification levels, the ISTQB certification has different levels starting from foundation level. Does Selenium also have a certification? Selenium is an open source tool. So the best thing that I would suggest, Balwinder, is like see if you can write certification on Java side, because primarily Selenium uses Java as a language. So you can look for the Java certification if there is anything available. But to my knowledge, I don't think there is anything specifically on Selenium yet. So it's open source tool. So somebody has to take the ownership of that certification because it's all open source. Whereas HP, it's their own tool, so they are taking that job of uh, conducting the certifications and then providing the certification. Same case with Microsoft. So Selenium takes time. It's open source, so somebody has to take an ownership. Okay, sorry. So the foundation, the basic level of testing that you can go through or appear for the ISTQB exam is the foundation level. It's called CTFL, certification at foundation level, and until now you can see that big portion of the foundation. Yes, yes, I will be teaching the contents in the ISTQB chapter. It's about 15 sessions that we will be having. 15 sessions followed by 3 to 4 mock tests, and at every session or every chapter that we complete, we'll look at the mock questions. It will be like a live test for you where I will be open up the questions and you'll try to answer all those things. We will do it, which are pretty much required for you to appear for the exam. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, we'll be dealing with all that. So the foundation level is the major one that is there for a long time, like as and when they started 2002, the ISTQB. But they are also coming up at foundation level with other things like agile tester, model-based testing, and other stuff. So agile methodology has become popular in the recent past. There are structure frameworks for agile coming up, and most of the organizations are moved from the traditional waterfall model to the agile methodology. So there is a high importance for the testing team how they will be shifting their uh, direction of testing from a typical waterfall model to the agile model, agile testing. So that's why they thought agile testing has become popular, and they are introducing this new certification called, they have introduced recently, called agile tester. There is another one that they are planning for this year, 2015, called model-based testing. So these three are at the foundational level. The actual foundation itself, that is what we are all going through now. But apart from the foundation level, they have agile testing course, the certification, and then followed by model-based testing. So there are a few questions. Let me take it up them before I proceed. If they are relevant here, I think it should make sense to answer. Do you give any certificate after completing the course, Raki? So you will always definitely you can mention that in your resume that you have got certified or you have got trained from IT eLearn. Actual copy of hardware certification, probably you can write an email to learn@itelearn.com or sales@itelearn.com. They will be able to answer you pretty good. But this certificate which we are talking about is the ISTQB an organization will give you, for which you need to understand the course, learn the concepts that are required, and there is about $250 of fee structure that you pay through and write an exam. that is ultimately is the one that we are talking about, which has a lot of value for software testing professionals. So just to say that you have completed the course and you need a certification, that should be pretty much possible. So from the IT Learn, just write an email to learn@itlearn.com. They'll be able to help you. Can you tell us about other certifications like ISO 9000, Six Sigma, etc.? So what happens is that these ISO or ISO 9001, 9002, 2010, all these are certifications for the organization, not for an individual. You get my point, right? So, for example, I'm a client and I wanted to give some project to an organization. Okay, there are two organizations, two companies in the market, A and B. I know very famous things about A. They are a big company. They are into ISO 9000 certifications. They have CMM level certifications. You did not mention. There is another one called CMM, Capability Maturity Model. They follow Six Sigma process, all that. And I know the quality that will come out of that organization is the maximum quality. So I don't need to really much worry about the quality of the product that I'm expecting. And the other side, there is another company called Company B. They are very hardworking, smart people. Probably it's a new entrepreneur or somebody started it, but they don't have any certifications as such like ISO 9000 or CMM or Six Sigma certification. So how to believe them? Basically, clients don't want to take any risk with respect to the quality of the product. So that is when the companies will or the clients will blindly go to certified companies like ISO 9001 certified companies or 9003 certified companies to Six Sigma companies and CMM level 3, level 5, CMMI companies. So it's basically for the companies, not for the individual. Whereas Six Sigma, there are some individual certifications like black belt, green belt. Those are for individual level. Any company which is following Six Sigma certification, uh, first of all, somebody should be there in the organization who is certified, who can guide the people in the organization. So that person is a Six Sigma green belt or black belt professional who will be guiding the team how to follow the Six Sigma at the organizational level. So I hope that answers your question. All that you mentioned is are not at the individual except Six Sigma green belt, black belt. Remaining all are for an organization, not for an individual. I did all studies for exam and never got information on center where I can appear for ISTQB exam in Michigan, USA. So this is something a specific case, Deepa. I will look at it, the required things for you, and then probably I'll get back to you specific to the Michigan, USA, where you can write it. But otherwise, they have worldwide centers where you can appear for the exam and things like that. So probably I don't want to say anything about because you might have already tried that options, and that's why you're bringing this one. I'll definitely get back to you specific to your question. Any prerequisites for appearing foundational? Yeah, I will be walking through that actually in a few minutes from now. May I know the fee? Yes, all that will. So fee structure you will come to know. Anyone can give it or not will come to know just few minutes. When do you start Agile Scrum? Please let me know how much cash can I get the score after attending all classes. Basically, you're talking about Agile test engineer course in the foundational level. Yes. So the plan or the direction is also like that. Once we have complete this foundation level certification, I will be taking up Agile tester related certification. May not be on the model based testing because it's very new and we'll have to wait and see how much value that will add if somebody will go through the model based testing. But very soon, yes, after this, I will be starting up with Agile testing also. So for this is all at the foundational level, and then they have one more next level called advanced level. So, okay, who can take this foundational level? That's what people have asked it. So let me show you. So this is all about the foundational level in nutshell in their website. As you can just go through, this is formed at the foundation level classification is aimed at professionals who need to demonstrate practical knowledge in their foundation concepts of software testing. And this includes people in roles such as test designers, test analysts, test engineers, test consultants, test managers, even the people who will be on the client side who will be doing the user acceptance testing. And any IT professional for that matter can go through foundational level testing. And the prerequisite for this is the foundation level qualification is also appropriate for anyone who needs a basic understanding of software testing. Somebody wants to understand how project management, quality management, software development management, these are the different roles that are there. And IT directors, management consultants, anybody can take it up. The entry criteria, even though they say here this is the entry criteria, all the candidates foundation level certification have at least 6 months of practical experience in a professional testing role. So that is what they say ultimately, but a lot of people without experience also they go and write the exam, having said that I've gone through this software testing training, I have fair idea about software testing and all, you can appear for the exam. Okay. So after foundational level, what are the levels that are available? That's what we are talking about in our current slide. So we have, so any questions on that foundational level now? I've clearly explained what is foundational level and who can take it up. Anybody, it could be a test manager, test engineer, test lead, test analyst, test architect, right? It could be somebody from the client side who will be performing the user acceptance testing. He's actually a business user, but he regularly involves in acceptance testing for the system. He can take it up. So, and it could be anybody, like even the somebody who works for some or other way to the testing related stuff can take it up. So once the foundational level testing is completed, the next level we have is the advanced level. It's called CTAL, certification at advanced level. This is exclusively for the test analysts, test managers, and technical test analysts. Nowadays, most of the companies have this role called test architects. Uh, so I'm one of that category. So those folks can take it up. But what about if you are new to IT? Will they allow to test if I gone through? Do we get this? Yes, yes, you will pretty much get it. See, the basic idea they are trying to emphasize that somebody should have a 6 months of experience in the platform of software testing. But many people I have seen or people go through are really the fresh engineers who have just understand software testing, who have gone through some training of software testing. They can also appear. Yes, you will be getting it. See that 6 months experience can be anything. Even you have learned something from IT learn, and you can I've gone through all these kind of things, and then I was completed one or two live projects in IT learn. That itself is an experience. So they will not really stress much on that. The next level of certification that they have is called expert level, which is called certification at expert level, exclusively for the people who are at the management, like test manager again, but who will be dealing with their day-to-day operations, strategic management, operations test management, managing the test team. So who will be into the engineering management or test management or people management for that matter, who have to take their day-to-day strategic decisions on the operations. They are the one who can go for expert level. Then somebody who are put up in a role where they have to improve the overall process for the testing. So today they follow some process, and the person has been hired for improving the process of the organization with respect to the testing. So they can go for expert level, improving the test process organization. Then somebody who is at test automation engineering level, who is responsible for building new frameworks, creating new automation suites. So those are the one. And then we have the security testing professionals, are the ones who can go for expert level. So these are the three broad categories of the ISTQB certification: foundational level, advanced level, expert level. But again, within foundational level, you can see that there are three categories, like foundation, agile testing, and then model based testing. So what we are aiming in this course is foundational level. Okay. Let's try to understand why this ISTQB, or what are the benefits of this certification. Right? Is it possible to directly take expert level certification? So, to my knowledge, at this point of the time, as far as I know, yes, it can be possible, but proving that you already have a management experience of that test management experience or test architect experience for about 10 years or so. Yes, but the best suggested way that they would do it is do the foundational level first and then followed by the advanced and expert level. Okay. Why ISTQB, or what are the benefits of it? It's an international recognition of acquired competencies and the skills in software testing. So ISTQB is not something a local organization or an organization specific to some country. It's not like that. It's an international organization, and everybody awares of what is an ISTQB at international wide. So when you go through the certification, you will be acquiring the required competencies and the skills in the field of software testing. The other organizations will be able to recognize through the certification that you have. And it provides a very promising higher level of reliability for the applications that are being developed due to the efficient and cost effective test practices. Again, that's the difference. So if an organization consists of all professionally qualified people through their certifications or through the experience, definitely you can rely on that organization, because the products that are being developed or the products that are being tested in that organizations will be are cost effective and of highest quality of the products, compared to an organization where you have non-qualified professionals, non-certified professionals, where you can risk with certain quality, and the reliability is kind of less. So this is a kind of an advantage to the companies. Basically, the first one is at the individual level. The first point that I wrote here is at the individual. It's the advantage for the individual, benefit for the individual. The second one is a benefit to the organization. If organization recruits, when they are recruiting the software testers, if they focus on the certification, ISTQB certification, and recruit the people who are certified, to the outside world, it gives an impression that this particular organization recruits only certified people. So we can very much rely on the applications that are being developed, and they will be cost effective and things like that. That's why the companies also go for certifications, as somebody Sonal said, about ISO, CMMI, Six Sigma, and all that, because customers always want the qualified product, so they can get it only through certain process. Consulting companies with certified staff, again, I think I just covered this point in my explanation. Consulting companies with certified staff can offer higher level of service to customers. Professionalism versus unprofessionalism, yeah. And this is the point again at the individual level. If I am at the hiring side, for example, if I am interviewing you two candidates, let's say for the position of software test engineer, let us suppose the scenario is like this. I'm interviewing two candidates, and the two candidates are really very good in terms of the foundations of software testing. They clearly understand the importance of testing, what is the necessity of the testing. They are very good in understanding software development life cycles, testing life cycle, different areas of testing, black box, white box, gray box of testing, and they are very good at some of the important black box testing techniques, like boundary value analysis, equal class partitioning, and all that. They are very good into automation also, be it with Selenium or UFT or whatever the tool it is, and they are aware of many things in testing, like web services, security, performance, not just the functional, non-functional testing. The only differentiating factor in between these two is that one is a certified professional from one of these organizations like ISTQB or CSTE. The other person is not a certified professional from any of these organizations, but he is equally good with the other person in terms of knowledge and skills. Now, all that I have is just recruit one person. I don't have two positions open. Otherwise, I would love to hire both of them because they are equally good. But the requirement that I have is just to hire one person So I will be definitely choosing the person who is certified, which is going to add a lot of value to his knowledge process and things like that. So that is a difference that will come in when somebody goes with a certification. And I know some of the companies like Accenture and all, what they will do, even after hiring, for example, they have got two positions open. So and these are the two best candidates out of the pool of candidates that are hired for today. So they have hired both of them, but they know one person is certified and one person is not certified. So I don't know at the behind the HR professional will adjust with some kind of pay scale, and they have hired both of them, whatever the reason. But they will put a mandate for the other person that you have to go through these testing certifications within 6 months from now or 3 months from now. I have seen putting that kind of restrictions by the companies. So it is something that the companies are mandating the candidates to go through certifications to understand the process, understand the importance of quality and things like that. Uh, if somebody has a question on the validity, how long my certification is valid, if I do this certification and all that, it is valid for lifelong. So once you do your CTFL or CTAL or CTEL, it is valid for lifelong. Whereas on the other side, for example, I don't know how many of you are familiar, I'm a certified professional of CTFL as well as I'm a certified professional of HP UFT, QTP or UFT. On the other side, what happens for the QTP or UFT is that as the companies gets new versions, whenever they get new versions of the UFT or QTP, the older certification that you have got it on the older version. For example, I did my certification, let's say in 9.2, it becomes obsolete automatically, or it becomes no use at when we are at UFT 12, for example. So again, I have to go and reappear to prove myself that I am updated with the updated versions of the software. I have upgraded myself with the updated versions of the software. I have to go reappear for that 12 again, and then show the companies that, hey, I'm upgraded with latest 12 or something like that. On the other side, CTFL, it's not like that. This is on the concepts, on the foundations of software testing, so it is valid for lifelong. That is one of the biggest advantage that you can think of. You don't need to reappear as things move. Okay, that is one thing. If somebody again interested to know the organizations wide, like somebody said ISO CMM wide, again, if some organization has gone through an ISO certification or a CMM certification or Six Sigma certification, again, it is not valid for lifelong. It is valid only for certain time. Every year or every 6 months, the auditors will come from ISO, CMM, Six Sigma, again will verify whether the company is really following those principles or not. They will randomly ask for certain proofs. For example, if someone says, as part of my CMMI process, we are maintaining ALM is my test management tool or Selenium is my automation tool. They will ask for the proof. Can you show me where did you maintain your scripts? Can you show me how do you maintain your project documents? If anybody is failed to show that, they have the right to reject the certification. The organizations will have those problems every year. They have to undergo verification of the certification or renewal of the certification. But CTFL is something like you write once, it's done. So basically, that is the advantage. So any questions on why somebody should go for an ISTQB, benefits of certification specific to this slide? Okay, let me move ahead. This is about the exam structure. It's all MCQ, multiple choice questions. There are about 40 multiple choice questions that you will be getting in the exam, and it's a point based system. Every question will have 1 point for each correct answer. The good advantage is, again, there is no negative marking, so you're nothing to worry about if something that you have answered incorrectly or not. Rather than leaving it as not answered, you can try your luck. I mean, in the sense, you can choose the best possible answer. Nothing goes wrong, or there's no negative marking. Uh, Then there is a success criteria. Who will get the certification is the minimum percentage that you have to score is 65 percentage, or basically you need to answer 26 or more points. So out of 40 questions you should get 26 or more. That means you should end up more than answering 26 questions. That is a success criteria for getting the certificate. The duration is about 1 hour 60 minutes for the exam. It's all online exams, so you need to go to any prometric centers for writing this exam. Exam fees is in US is around $250. In India is around 4,500 or 5,000 rupees. As somebody is asking, it's expensive in US. Yeah. That is how they have been structured it. In UK, Kiranmay, I can get back to you. I don't have the exact number at this moment, but again, you can think it will be converting into US dollars. You would get a little bit of less than, you can say around US $200 roughly. I'm expecting that, but I can get back to you with exact number if you're looking for in UK. It's an online exam. You have to go to one of the prometric centers nearby your place. As somebody was saying that they could not find a center in Michigan and all. Everything again, in fact, just post the orientation, go to istqb.org site. You will find all the centers worldwide. You will find the exam fees worldwide. You can, I just took these two because most of the times people will be appearing from either US, India. I think I should put the UK also going forward. Okay. So I think in UK, I mean it's a worldwide famous organization, but UK I think they'll specifically focus on this much. So on the certification. Okay. Now the course content. When it comes to the ISTQB foundation level content, these are the 6 chapters that we'll have to go through in the course. And whoever wants to appear for the exam, you have to be master in all these topics basically. It is not involving any automation tool and all. It's little bit of dry theoretical topic, but I will be making it as much interesting as possible with frequently putting you some questions so that you can answer them, and you can check your confidence level at the end of every topic or every chapter, and then make you ready for the examination in a thorough way. But otherwise it's all theoretical topics, so we'll be dealing with number of examples. The biggest thing that you should be familiar is with the vocabulary. The organization, the ISTQB, uses specific vocabulary, so that we can again download from the ISTQB website. Everything is there in the ISTQB website that are required for it, except the explanation of the topics and everything. So that's what we're going to deal it with here, and rest of the thing we heavily dependent on that istqb.org website. Okay, the 6 chapters are like fundamentals of testing is the first chapter. Second one is testing throughout the software life cycle. Third one is all the static and dynamic techniques, majorly static techniques. The testing design techniques. Then we have the test management, and then we have tools supporting for the testing. Okay, so these are the topics that we have. Now when it comes to each of them, the first one, when it comes to the fundamentals of testing, we will be dealing with very basic level to understand, like what is testing is all about. People who have attended manual QA testing will get a little bit of boredom in the first 1 or 2 topics, but again, the examples will be slightly different from what you have learned, so I will try to make it interesting as much as possible. So you should understand why the software testing is required, what is the necessity of software testing, what is testing is all about, and there are about 7 testing principles. How many of you heard about these testing principles? Did anybody heard about them previously? I will be dealing in detail in the next one, but probably I can just show you. These are the different principles of software testing. Like, testing shows the presence of defects. Exhaustive testing is impossible. Early testing is always better. And defects are always confined to small portion of your application, so defects clustering, and it's called pesticide paradox. If you continuously repeat the same tests again and again, you will not find new bugs. So you should refine your test cases with different test data to find new bugs. So you should continuously improve your test cases and test data. And testing is always like context depending in the sense, the way you test a healthcare application is different from a normal gaming application or a e-commerce application. So there is a risk involved in healthcare applications is much higher than a risk involved in e-commerce application, because in e-commerce application, if something goes wrong, the max loss could be in terms of financial, but if something goes wrong in a healthcare application, it could cost the life of a person. So that's the level of difference that we have. And the seventh one is absence of errors fallacy. Basically, if the system is sorry, if the system is built in unusable and does not fulfill the user needs, then it's no use of finding and fixing the defects. If the requirements itself is not meeting the requirements of the customer, then that is different altogether. Okay. So then we have, we'll talk about fundamental testing process, psychology of testing, then code of ethics. This is what is comes under first chapter. In the second chapter, we'll talk about complete software development lifecycle models, waterfall, agile, spiral models, and there are different other models like V model, prototyping model, etc. Then we'll talk about different levels of testing. We'll talk about different levels of testing. Then we talk about different types of testing. There are about 35 different techniques that I will be introducing. And then maintenance of testing. How do you maintain your test cases, defects that you get out of it, and all that. Then followed by we'll be talking about static techniques, basically how review happens, a self review, peer review, team level review, and how does that happen. And then we'll talk about some of the static analysis tools also that helps in generating the test data and other stuff. So testing design techniques. So we'll talk about test development process, categories of test design techniques, black box testing, white box testing, gray box testing, experience based techniques, and then choosing one of the best testing technique for your application. Then we'll talk about a little bit of test management, wherein we'll talk about how test organization looks like, how the planning and estimation happens, how they will control the test progress, do they use any tool, or how they control the monitoring and controlling of the progress. What is a configuration management tool? Where do you maintain your source code for your automation? Do you use any tool like HPALM or Bugzilla for your bugs? What kind of configuration management tool? Risk and testing, and then we'll talk about incident management. The last one is all about the tools supporting for the testing, in which we'll be talking about types of testing tools, effective use of the tools, the potential benefits, and the risks that are happening with associated with the tools, and introduction to the tool into an organization. How you can bring a new automation tool or new performance tool, uh, or it could be a test management tool, how you introduce to an organization. Okay, so this is about the level content. Any questions, team? Let's talk about what are these different K levels. I told you there are different K levels in which they will be testing our knowledge. These K levels are called cognitive levels, and there are about four different K types or K levels that they will test us in foundational level, called K1, K2, K3, K4. In case of K1, you have to remember it as it is, and you should be able to recognize with the definition that we will be discussing in the course. You will be able to recall with the examples that I give, and then you will be able to answer that question. So basically, they will test your knowledge on how much you can remember, recognize, and recall based on certain example or a certain scenario. So that is of type K1, and K2 is a situation will be given to you and you need to understand, and you should able to explain like why it is like that and give some reasons, possible reasons why a test has been failed or test has become successful, or why are you doing it like this. And you should be able to compare with other features, classify them into different categories, and give examples and summarize. So the knowledge of K2 is around all these. K3 is certain topic and technique and or a testing technique. How will you apply? How will you use it in your day-to-day life? For example, about the model-based testing, in which you can generate different permutations and combinations for your test cases. So they will give you a feature or a requirement, and they will see how you apply that. For example, if I tell you a boundary value analysis technique, which helps in testing the boundaries. So they will give you a scenario or an example and check you how you can apply and whether you will arrive at the right boundaries or not. So that kind of apply and using of the knowledge. The fourth one, K4, is all about analysis. How do you analyze and how do you come up with your analysis mechanism? So these are the things that they will be testing it in K4. Now coming to the answers, sorry, how many questions you will get at each K level. The K1, where you have to remember, recognize, and recall, you will get 20 questions. Okay. K2 is where you need to classify, categorize, and things like that. You will get 12 questions. K3 and K4 are a little bit of critical, where you need to apply your knowledge, analyze a situation, apply and reuse. So together K3 and K4, you will get 8 questions. So in total, you will get 40 questions, as I told you. And to get through certification, you have to at least pass through 26 questions. Okay, anything beyond that is good. And number of questions per chapter. In chapter 1, I have showed you all the chapter wide topics, right? So chapter 1, which is like fundamentals, you will get 7 questions. Chapter 2, you will get 6 questions. Chapter 3, 3 questions. Chapter 4, 12 questions. This is very important. Chapter 5 and 6, you will get 8 and 4 questions. So this is what our chapter 4. Chapter 4 is where testing design techniques is where you will get more number of questions, that is 12 questions. Okay. Any questions so far, team? Okay, somebody has a question. Let me take it up that. I have seen some sample papers where questions are based on branch and path coverage. Will you cover some? Yeah, it comes under white box testing, Lena. The example that I gave about boundary value analysis of a black box, branch and coverage techniques is on the white box side. If somebody gives you a piece of code, how do you validate that piece of code is correct or not? For example, if there is an if condition, you have to input all possible condition values to that to test that if condition. Similarly, if somebody has written a loop, let's say for loop or while loop, you have to input all the values in such a way that the loop is tested completely. So it comes under that white box testing. Yes, we'll be covering that. So this is about syllabus, K levels, and the questions at each category. Now, what are the prospects of getting certified? Uh, I could get this on the internet with respect to UK. This is the percentage of IT jobs in the UK, citing ISTQB in the description. This is a source. itjobswatch.co.uk is a source where I could get this, and I could get this up to 2014, right from 2005. So you can see the rise in the graph, basically how people prefer ISTQB professionals. Okay. So this is the similar case worldwide. Actually, I just got this instantly for UK, but I could have get it for US and India also. It's pretty much the same case. Always, see, I explained the scenario very well, right? If I have to recruit somebody and the two professionals are equally good, I always prefer somebody who is certified, right? So that's the advantage. Now the source for all these is istqb.org. I gave a couple of links here, but just remember istqb.org and go to this website. whatever I have explained so far, whether it is content or so wherever you are, you can find exam provider. Somebody was talking about Michigan. You should be able to search here basically, right? So and the certification path, then exam, different K levels, and in news from the ISTQB, things like that. Okay, so you can also look about uh, the vision for them, the ethics for the professional, what kind of ethics that you are expected to follow. And the best thing that you can go through is a frequently asked questions, where if any questions that you get it later post this session, this is a site where you need to look for. Okay, so the Q&A, we have about 3 to 4 minutes, so let me know if you have any questions. As I told you, we will be dealing with this whole thing on about 13 to 14 sessions, plus followed by mock tests. I think the complete schedule has been shared with you guys through the webinar details. So please go through that and then attend the next session. Any questions, team, for me at this moment? When can we register for the exam? So I will be talking about that, definitely the process for registering and all that. But my suggestion is post the course completion, take some time for the preparing. I would be giving lots of PDF files, documents that will help you in going through. But from your side also, you need to spend some time in preparing. It's not just about attending. You will revisit these videos, but you have to finally remember some glossaries. Remember, you should be able to apply the techniques that we discuss here on a scenario that you see. So there is a good amount of preparation required from your side. Post that, I would say you can go and appear for the exam by looking at the slots available in your nearby Prometric. So how much is the fees, Sonal? I think I already covered. It's around $250 in US. I'm not really sure about other places. Around 5,000 in India. Thanks, Vibhu. You say it's a nice one and useful one. Okay. What is the best way to contact you? My email ID is shankar@itelan.com. This is my email ID. So this is the one through which you can contact me, or you can always CC learn@itelan.com. Okay. All right. So if you don't have any questions, we'll wrap it up today. This is just an orientation session. So look forward for you to attend the next coming up sessions. The first and two demo sessions will be there. Post that, we'll be continuing with the regular sessions. Thank you. Thanks, team.